Let's move forward to the other big story that we're tracking, and that's coming in from Tamil Nadu. State Department of Hindu Religious and Charitable Endowments in the state has once again come under scanner for its high-handedness against the Dikshithars of the Chidambaram Natarajar temple. Yesterday, HR and C department officials, accompanied by two female police officers, entered the Kanaka Sabai briefly amid stiff resistance from the Dikshithars. The Dikshithars had placed a board in the temple a few days ago announcing restrictions on devotees till Tuesday. The Chidambaram Town Police have now booked a case against 11 of them for allegedly obstructing an official of the HRNC department for discharging her duty amongst other sections. The minister concerned, P.K. Sekar Babu, has accused Dikshithars of managing the Nataraj temple and not divulging information to the government on the temple funds and assets, and that he's saying that there are efforts on to bring this shrine under the ambit of the department. Now, this is not the first time that the State Department has sought to run its writ over the way this temple runs. Remember, this is a unique temple because in 2014, Supreme Court had ruled that Dikshithars can have the right to manage this temple. It is one of those rare temples that has large temples that doesn't come directly under the government. Last year too, there was a row. HR and C department issued notices asking for details of the assets of the temple. Dikshithars opposed the interference and refused to show those documents. The authorities announced for complaints by public against them, and they got a complaint of child marriage. And few Dikshithars was also held. Last year in June too, heated argument took place between both sides. This was over a raised platform during a festival. Few Dikshithars were again arrested by the authorities, and yesterday a fresh row sparked off because police entered the temple forcefully and stood over that same platform. Is there undue interference with the Chidambaram temple by the State Department, and is that interference increasing since the DMK government came to power? That's the big question we'll take to guess in just a bit.
தெய்வத்தை வழிபடுவதற்குண்டான அனைத்து ஏற்பாடுகளையும் செய்து தருவதுதான் எங்களுடைய நோக்கம்.
The government is doing a panic reaction, vendetta politics, and which should be we condemn this very strongly.
Salim Dharandaran of the DMK is joining us. T.R. Ramesh is advocate and he's a free temple activist joining us. Before I take the state government's response on what has transpired, T.R. Ramesh, do you want to elucidate what are the issues as far as this department and the Chidambaram Nataraj temple is concerned? Why do we keep hearing of these skirmishes and pretty ugly fights between the temple management and the police and the HRC department in Tamil Nadu?
See, the Honorable Supreme Court on 6th January 2014 gave a final judgment and affirmed that the Dikshithars have the right to administer this Chidambaram Nataraj temple as they have been doing for centuries. In fact, they set aside the orders of the learned single judge and the division bench of the Madras High Court, and also gave an opinion that the High Court should not have reviewed the matter when in 1951 it was confirmed that the Podu Dikshithars form a religious denomination. Now, it is the policy of the DMK party that Sanatana Dharma should be decimated. And this temple is a Vedic temple. It is not even an Agamic temple. It is a Vedic temple where 2,000-year-old Vedic practices are followed. And this is the only temple, large temple, that is not under the government control.
Yes.
So they target this temple. In 2014, the AIADMK and the Jayalalitha was in power. After the Chidambaram temple judgment, they grudgingly left the temple after 9 months. DMK came to power in May 2021. And from the time they were saying, we will take this temple under our control. this is a temple built by the kings, so the Dikshithars cannot administer. Now, there is nothing in the constitution that says temples built by kings should not be in the hands of the denomination. The HRNC gave a lot of trouble. They asked for the accounts of the temples. The Dikshithars pointed out the Madurai Saurashtra Sabha case judgment, where two honorable judges of the Madras High Court had ruled that the HRNC does not have an automatic right to summon for accounts from denominational temples. Then they gave an advertisement in a popular newspaper asking people to complain about Chidambaram Temple.
Yes, I've already listed that out. I have limited time. So let me just ask you one quick follow-up question before I go to the Ranidharan. You contend that this is particularly happening with more vicious intent because of the DMK and it's because of its ideology.
Yes, because the earlier DMK leaders, they made a statement in the as early as 50s or even before that the day the Chidambaram Temple and the Srirangam Rangana Swami Temple, a Vaishnavi temple, are blown to pieces by cannons, that is the day that Tamil Nadu should rejoice. So they hate this the temples which are icons for Saivism and Vaishnavism. And they hate the community that runs them. That is the truth.
Okay. Mr. Dharandaran, how do you respond to the fact that since you've come to power, despite the fact that this temple is supposed to be run by the Dikshithars, you keep trying to interfere at what pretense or another? And the manner in which the police is dealing with the priests and the temple property and, its area, it's absolutely appalling.
No, I think it's not absolutely true. See, HRNC was formed even before India got independent, before DMK came to power. HRNC manages most of the temples in Tamil Nadu, and that is why Tamil Nadu has the best maintained temples in the country. And if you look at HRNC website, all the temples which are part of HRNC, they say how much money they have received as non-kode or donation, and then how they have been spent. For example, Palani Temple, for example,
but that's not your job.
Offers. No, why?
It's not your job.
But who are Dikshithars? Who are Dikshithars? Do they own
No,
the
they're
temple?
the ones who run the temple. It's
See,
their job. It's not your job. The court decided on that.
Wait. But court gave a caveat in the judgment. I'm not sure if you read the judgment.
Yes, the mismanagement of funds.
Yeah, the mismanagement, exactly.
But you have to first prove some mismanagement before your police starts entering temples like this. Is there no sanctity to be maintained of a temple property?
First, you should speak or I have to speak. When the previous gentleman spoke, he was uninterrupted. But I've been interrupted.
Because you're making it sound like it's your job to check what the temple does. It isn't.
No, only if you let me complete, you will understand what I'm trying to say. If you just interrupt, then I'll be understood wrong by the viewers.
Okay, go ahead.
So if that's what you want, then I do not know. Very clear, from 2009 to 2013, 1.5 crores was the money that was received as donations in the temple. But before that and after that, the Dikshithars have been saying they've received only 3,000 rupees for the whole year. That's what they have claimed, 3,000 or 30,000. And second, it's not the DMK that said that this temple has to be in HRNC. Even before independence, one justice, Revered Justice Muthuswamy Iyer, had told that these people do not own the temple and it should be publicly owned.
Nobody owns the temple. That's not anybody's argument. But there is a clear-cut Supreme Court judgment. I asked you a two-part question. I'll give you time to respond to both of them, and I'll take your question over the mismanagement of funds to T.R. Ramesh. But please explain to me, how is it that since your government came to power, these skirmishes are happening repeatedly?
Not true. I think history doesn't say that. In 1983, one Dikshithar himself went to MGR and complained that
please talk to me about post-2014, post the judgment.
You said only my party. I'm saying it happened during ADMK. Now you are saying
that was pre-judgment of the Supreme Court in this matter. I am saying in 2014, the court clearly outlined who's going to control the management of the temple. Now, post that, why is it that these cases are happening every year or few months since you came to power?
No, it happened all the time. That's why I'm saying it started from the British era. It went during MGR. MGR recommended the temple be handed over to HRNC. Jayalalitha did so the same. And now we are asking for the same because these Dikshithars acted in an arbitrary manner. Misappropriation of funds. There is allegation of child marriage. This is not what DMK government is wanting to go and take over this temple. It is, we receive complaints from people. We have received complaint from people that there
your
has been child marriage.
State Department
And what is
chief
the
has
DMK?
said, a minister concerned has said that there are efforts on to take over the temple. I don't know how that is okay, but if anybody was to talk about taking over any other place of worship, it wouldn't be okay. But one second. In this case, the temple decided to restrict the entry of devotees for a period of time because they felt they cannot manage crowds. Now, can you tell me what justifies the manner in which the police handled this issue?
Who are there to stand between devotees and the god? If they think they cannot manage, they could have written to the Tamil Nadu government or the Tamil Nadu police department. They would have given police protection. Who are they? Why should they decide? This arbitrary is a problem.
But then
That
will
place
you
again-
run into temples and fight with people in temple premises if there is a
We
problem?
do not fight with the people. We are standing with the people. Maybe you want to show to the people outside of Tamil Nadu that we are standing, we are against the
But
people
visuals
who are going
speak
to
for
devote. That's
itself.
not true. No, you ask the devotees there. I've spoken to people in Chidambaram who go to the temple. They're all saying that these people are acting with high-handedness.
Fair enough.
Dikshithars.
Those allegations
I'll tell you another
in its
example.
place. No,
In
1 second. Those
2018
allegations
no,
in
one
its
very
place.
important point.
There is CCTV footage to show that police officers are barging into the temple. What justifies that?
You yourself said there are a huge crowd they cannot manage. So if any place in Tamil Nadu, if there is huge crowd, it has to be managed. The police will have to go. And important, I'll tell you what Dikshithars, now they're saying their devotees, they're not allowing them to pray properly. In 2018, for one big businessman, after getting some, I don't know what from him, allowed him to host an entire marriage. And that time, that whole temple was
You are
closed.
very welcome to take these
whole
cases
arrangement-
forward, but there
whole
is a
arrangement-
manner in which you will have to deal with these cases. Anyways, let T.R.
whole
Ramesh
arrangement
first
was
respond
that- the whole
to the
arrangement
charges.
was
Once
declared as a
again,
five-star
to the
hotel.
charges of temple funds management misappropriation. Doesn't the temple also owe an explanation in this regard?
Okay, now the gentleman talked about 1.5 crore rupees income. He conveniently forgot to tell the viewers that the government had installed hundis in many places in the temple when it took over the temple in 2009. And that's how money came into collection. Now, Chidambaram temple is a unique temple where there are no hundis, no shops, no commercialization, all these years. Yet, 6 pujas a day happen like clockwork. 2 major festivals in a year happen. And people come and have darshan within 5 minutes. There is no queue. There is no special darshan charges, etc., etc. This is a temple which is least commercialized. Now, the Dikshithars are getting their accounts audited by chartered accountants as prescribed by the Income Tax Act, Section 288. Any temple having more than 2 lakh rupees income has to be necessarily audited by a chartered accountant and in a particular formula. This the Dikshithars are doing, and this is not being done by HRNC. From 1986, 1.5 million audit objections are pending, even in their internal audit.
Okay.
The commissioner himself has accepted this, and this has come out in a GO 181, which transferred the audit department from the HRNC to the finance department.
Okay,
This happened last year.
Can I ask you a quick follow-up question because I have limited time? What also explains the fact that the temple decided that they will not take in devotees instead of making provisions to manage the crowd? So, in other words, the charge that the state government makes is that there is high-handedness and a less devotee-friendly way of handling the temple.
Exactly. This is happening in HRNC controlled temples, not in Chidambaram. Let me tell you, the Kanagasabai is a raised platform in which the 6 pujas I was talking about happens every day. It's basically a puja area where there is a limited space, like 10 into 3 feet, where some 10 devotees can stand and have darshan. But during festivals, when 50,000 or 60,000 people come and everybody wants to go up and have darshan, there will be chaos and there will be ruckus, and that's what's happened with the HRNC just observing it and doing nothing. That's why during festival alone, for 4 days, the Dikshithars said there will be no darshan from the Kanagasabha, just for 4 days when the festival crowd is there.
Okay.
Even if police is there, it cannot be managed because 6 pujas have to happen in the Kanagasabha, and only the time between the pujas, these darshan atop the Kanagasabha.
Okay, fair enough. Let me give Mr. Dharan a quick rebuttal space. The charge against your government is that you've been eyeing this temple for a very long time, which is one of the rare temples not under state control. And of course, Mr. Ramesh said what they said about your party ideology. If your minister keeps making statements like we're going to take it over, obviously it will sound like that's your intention. Your intention is not smooth functioning. Your intention is to take it over under any pretext.
See, making it beautifully sound, it's a DMK, it's a Dikshithar issue. It's an issue between government of Tamil Nadu, back then Madras province, and the Dikshithars. That's why we're saying the court verdicts have been going on from 1988 until 2014 and it's still going on. So, and again, the previous gentleman, when he spoke, he conveniently omitted the whole point that they don't give receipts. For example, there have been numerous complaints that have come. He can't deny it. 10,000 is being charged for prasad to be delivered at home. One of the various services they offer. There is no receipt.
Mr. Ramesh, you want to respond to that? Once again, I have limited time. Mr. Ramesh, you want to respond to that, please?
Any special services?
Sorry, I didn't get it.
They're not giving
I didn't get it.
He's saying that there is funds taken from the devotees for performing certain practices, but there is no receipt given to those devotees.
Exactly.
In the Chidambaram temple, no money is allowed to be taken by the Dikshithars as per the temple rules, except the Dakshina.
See, rule is different, right? Rule is different, but we have got...
Kindly don't interrupt. Did I interrupt when you were speaking, sir? You got complaints because there are set up complaints by stooges of the HRC department.
There has been
The stooges of the HRC department. No, which is the HRC department.
Venkata Chelappa has told this.
Okay.
That there has been discrepancy in the temple.
Okay, so the point is this. I request both of our guests to pull back because we're running out of time. The point is this. If there are complaints, they need to be handled in a certain way. Mr. Dharandaran, please. They need to be handled in a certain way. The answer cannot be that you keep barging into temples. And that will invite the charge of the high-handedness of the police as well. We'll leave it at that. We'll see how this progresses. Time for a very short break. On the other side, we'll get you some latest reports after rain havoc in financial capital of the country, Mumbai. Yet again, orange alert is issued for 6 districts of Maharashtra.